Have you wondered about living elsewhere after you retire? Well, we have, almost daily. As you know, it's not an overnight decision. Hi, this is Gil
and Gene
of Retire There, a podcast about places to consider living in during your retirement. We started this show for selfish reasons, because we will be retiring in the next few years, but we're not sure where. Then a light bulb went off in Gene's head. What are others doing? With so many baby boomers retiring, there must be many relocating. So we decided, let's connect with them and pick their brains. But first, a little background. I'm Asian, born in Brazil, and grew up in Flatbush, Brooklyn. I'm an engineer turned attorney and practicing higher ed law at a college who loves working with students, faculty, and staff.
I am not Asian. Born and raised in Long Island, New York, a place I always wanted to leave.
Aww.
I am a law librarian working in a court who loves his job. We've lived in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, New York for many years and have been thinking about our future home.
So we'll be speaking to folks from around the country and now around the world who have moved to venues of their dreams and more. And we will share their stories and we will share their intimate secrets.
No.
I'm just kidding, Gene. But we will provide information that you may not find anywhere else. So stay tuned. Today we have another Snowbird episode. We'll be chatting with Rosemary Palladino and Marianne Brennick, who reside in Staten Island, New York, and spend their winters in Dania Beach, Florida, a city of Broward County. The city name of Dania originated from the residents who were mostly farmers of Danish ancestry. Dania Beach was formerly known as the tomato capital of the world, Gene.
Wow.
However, as the farming settlement transformed into an urban city, it became known as the antique capital of the South due to its many antique shops in the downtown area, especially along Federal Highway, known as the city's Antique Row. Oh my God, that sounds so interesting.
Let's go there.
So here's a little background about our guests.
Rosemary was born in Brooklyn and grew up in Staten Island. She attended Catholic grammar school and public high school, which is where the lovebirds met. She attended Yale University, NYU grad school, and New York Law School. She held various government jobs. She was district manager of Community Board 1 in Staten Island, an attorney in private practice. For the New York State courts, she worked for the Departmental Disciplinary Committee and was an appellate attorney. She was also commissioner of the New York City Board of Standards and Appeals. Rosemary still does occasional per diem and court-appointed work, some private cases here and there. She notes that she was more interested in working when she first retired, but not so much now. Her interests include reading, television, crosswords, walking, trivia, singing, and community theater. Okay. Gil, you wrote this great bio. You left out the most important thing. Yes, she attended Yale University, but more importantly, she was a contestant on Jeopardy. That's my dream in life.
Yeah, Gene. So did you ever get on?
Not even close.
That's because you went to SUNY.
Marianne was born and raised in Staten Island. She earned a BS from the College of Staten Island of the City University of New York. She was a manager at social service agencies and director of the Staten Island LGBT Center. Before the pandemic, she worked part-time on a project basis for a social service agency serving the homeless and hungry. That's great. Her interests include antiquing, genealogy, Sudoku, playing guitar, and the big one, the Titanic.
And by the way, I love Sudoku also. It's one of the most stress-free exercises one can have.
Both Rosemary and Marianne enjoy playing cards, thrift shopping, taking care of their elderly dog, the beach, and live music. They're also very involved in various condo associations.
Another interesting question. Hi, Rosemary and Marianne. We so appreciate your joining our podcast. Okay. Dania Beach sounds so nice. Gene and I also love antiquing, thrifting, going through people's trash. Just kidding. Actually, Gene picked up an abandoned Art Deco nightstand one evening, cleaned it up, and sold it for a nice little profit. As you may know, there's an odd law in New York City called theft of residential recyclable material, which states, except for an authorized employee or agent of the Department of Sanitaire, it shall be unlawful for any person to disturb, remove, or transport by motor vehicle any amount of recyclable material placed out at the curbside, within the stoop line, or in front of the premises for collection or removal by DSNY.
Okay, I need to defend myself. First of all, I'm pretty sure what I took was not a recyclable item. So I'm clear there. But also, I believe the person wrote on it, please take me. They clearly
Gave you consent?
put it out there not to be taken by
DSNY?
for recyclables, but for somebody like me to come by and take it. And third, I don't recall if I took it with a motor vehicle.
No, I think we walked it home. But tell us why there was a case about this, right? Where it hung up an artist for a while in the courts.
Yes. So an artist was walking along, he saw a big metal piece. I don't remember exactly what it was, but he took it, put it in the trunk of his car. Somebody from DSNY saw him, and the fine was huge. And I went to court, and honestly, I forget the outcome. So there goes that.
Well, this is a problem for many artists because that's where you find all the good stuff, especially recyclable materials. You think that would turn into art pieces.
Yeah.
And help the
as long
environment.
as you drag it home and don't put it in your car, you're okay.
Right. Okay.
I would also question whether they were recyclable things, as you say, Gene, because if you mix two different things, like if it's metal and glass, it's not recyclable.
Yeah.
Is that right? Even though both those things are recyclable?
My understanding is that if it's a mixture of things, it's not recyclable. Could I be wrong? Sure. It's been a while since my community board days. I do recall pretty strict rules about recycling at the time. In fact, for a while, right, you couldn't even recycle window envelopes unless you pulled out the cellophane from the window envelope.
Right.
But this is a concern for us because Gene will continue to look through people's trash.
People throw out good stuff.
Okay. On that note.
Just let me also just add with regard to that, Gene, you and I are kindred souls. I was well known on the Staten Island ferry for scrounging the newspapers that people would throw out.
Oh, that's
and in
so
fact,
funny.
At the court, I also had arrangements with various of my colleagues that when they were finished with their newspapers, please deposit them in my office.
Saving the world,
saving
one
the
newspaper
world.
at a time.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay. So, Rosemary, we know Marianne will join us soon. Would you share with us how you came upon Dania Beach?
Yes, it's actually, I think, a pretty funny story. We were in Florida for a week in Fort Lauderdale. And I should add that Dania Beach is right between Fort Lauderdale and Hollywood. It's about 20 miles from Miami. And if you've ever flown into Fort Lauderdale, you've actually been in Dania Beach because the airport is in Dania Beach.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So we are very close to the airport. So we were just there. We like to go on open houses. That's another one of the hobbies that I should have mentioned. We enjoy open houses. And we happened to see one, and it was on like Southwest 32nd Street. We had no idea where it was, but we had the GPS and we said, just for fun, let's go. And it ended up being a trailer, like a mobile home place in Dania Beach. And we weren't much interested in it, except it did have a beautiful pool. It had a really nice community pool. And we talked to several of the people. That's one of the reasons I like open houses. I like to talk to people. Marianne is taking measurements and things, but I'm...
Well, someone has to.
Yes. Anyway, the owner was telling us they were right near the beach where they were. He was giving us directions on how to get to the beach. And so as the day wore on, we ended up going down to check out Dania Beach, the beach itself. And it's a great beach. It's not a real big beach. It's not a big wide beach. It's more of a narrow beach, but we like that because we like not having to carry our things very far. We like that you can just get out of the car and you're on the beach in a matter of seconds, and then you can be in the water very quickly. So As we were driving around Dania Beach, we heard music. Marianne is very into live music. We both are, but she will listen to anything if it's live. And so it turned out there was this place, the Dania Beach Bar and Grill. And it was great. It had really good music. So I said to her, okay, and by now it was dark. I said, you go in, get us a table. I said, I'll pay for the parking and I'll join you inside. So I went to put my credit card in the parking meter. And apparently I put it where you're supposed to put cash, or where cash comes back to you. I don't know what it was, but I put it in the wrong slot. So the machine ate up my credit card.
Oh my goodness.
Now this is Friday. It's Valentine's Day weekend, and it's like Lincoln's birthday weekend.
Oh no.
So this is Friday. So
bye credit card.
Exactly. And so it's dark, and I'm trying to see if there's any numbers on the meter, anybody I can call, anything like that. And I'm saying to myself, maybe the parking people will come around and I can ask them. And I ended up calling the sheriff's office. And the sheriff shows up at the Dania Beach Bar and Grill. The people were not real happy to see him. But then, as it turned out, he was from the Bronx, and they all knew him anyway. So it ended up chatting with them that night. But he was saying to me, what the heck did you call me for,
Mm-hmm.
So I spoke to the bartender. I gave him my name and address, and I said, please, call me if they come by and if they find my credit card, anything like that. And I made him swear that he would call me. All right. So fast forward to, so we did. We enjoyed the bar that night. But anyway, fast forward to Tuesday morning. My phone rings. It's the Dania Beach Parking Authority. And they said, we have your credit card. Do you want us to destroy it, or do you want to come down and get it? And we said, well, let's come down and get it. So we went down during the day to the Dania Beach City Hall. And it's in a beautiful spot. There's a beautiful library there. There's a waterfall, a nice little plaza.
Oh.
And when we went inside, we were reading about new developments that were coming up there. And I just said to Marianne, I like this place. We just happen to like this place. I got my credit card back. And then, as you just mentioned about all the antique stores, unfortunately, there's a lot fewer than there used to be. A lot of them have gone out of business. I think there is. Yeah, I think there are still a few. So this was a couple of years ago when they were open. And so Marianne was very happily enjoying all the antique stores while I said, let me see if I can walk down to the beach. And while we were there, I happened to chat with a couple of people. I remember there was a kid driving by on a bike, and he high-fived me, and, somebody else said hi to me and stuff. It just gave us a nice feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So we got home. Unfortunately, about a month after we got home, Marianne broke her ankle. And she couldn't put any weight on at all. She was wheelchair bound for months.
Wow.
It was she didn't heal well anyway. It's a long story. But at any rate, she spent the whole time on the computer looking at real estate. She found this apartment in Dania Beach that she really liked, and it had just gotten sold. It was a foreclosure. It had just gotten sold. She said, oh, that's too bad, because this is the one I really liked. And a couple months later, I'm looking at the real estate and something pops up, and I said to her, isn't this the apartment you were looking at? And she said, yes. And it turned out that originally the realtor had told us, this is going to go. This sale is not going to fall through because it's a cash sale. But what actually had happened was that the buyer was turned down by the homeowners association. Apparently he had like a criminal record or something, so they turned it down. So it came back on the market. Marianne called the realtor. We bought it sitting at our kitchen table.
Oh my goodness.
Sight unseen. Yes. And the other funny thing is when we did finally get down there, quite a few months later, Marianne was so familiar with the streets and everything from the computer, that as we were driving there, and she was saying to me, okay, you're going to see a candy store on the left. That's where you're going to make a left. And it was truly amazing that when we got there, that she knew exactly how to get there and stuff. And so, we put the key in the door, very nervous about what we were going to find. And it's not a fancy place, but it's perfectly fine for us. And we very much enjoyed being there.
Oh, that's great.
So
that's
tell us about it. Is it a one floor? I mean, single floor, or
Okay. It's four 4 stories.
Oh.
I mean, our apartment is 1 floor, but the building,
yes.
it's not a high rise. I guess you call it a mid rise. It's 4 stories, and it's, I think, 112 units. Some 1 bedroom, some 2 bedroom. The thing about it also, and this is what I'm saying, people make choices, right, about where they want to be. And I think that's part of like what your mission is, to make people think about it. If you're going to go to Florida, the things that you need to think about is, do you want to be in a retirement place? Right? There's an awful lot of places that are for senior citizens.
Sure.
And it's clear it's not a bad thing, but the thing that maybe you might want to think twice about is that it might be harder to sell. Now, is that going to be your problem? Probably not. It's probably going to be your estate's problem, so let them worry about it.
Oh.
The other thing is we have a dog. It's very surprising how many places will not let you be there with a dog.
Wow.
Many of them, some of them said animals are okay up to 15 pounds. What's 15 pounds? It's a hamster, right? It's not
my goodness.
not a dog.
Oh, interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
So this place allowed dogs, and it wasn't just a senior place. And so we liked that. The other thing is, do you want to be in a place with a lot of snowbirds? See, we're the only snowbirds, I think, in this place. A lot. The other thing about this place is that it's mostly renters. It's a lot of investors that have tenants. There's not that many owners working there, living there. Now, some people that would be a drawback. All right. To us, it's not a drawback. We liked that idea because we are a more casual people, and we like to be someplace where we can be relaxed. I think that we thought if we were in one of these snowbird buildings with the ladies with the blue hair, we wouldn't feel as comfortable being casual. By that, I mean, when we go to the pool, very frequently, we'll just put a bathrobe on over our bathing suits, and walk out that way. In a fancy building, you couldn't do that.
Really?
Is that right?
Even if it's your own building.
In our building, it's more, it's some students, it's families, some families with children. And as I said, there's a couple of owners, but people are pretty relaxed. And we've really found that people have been very nice to us. The other thing that we do, which we wouldn't do if it was a stricter kind of place, we like to play cards. And we don't have a balcony, but we have like a catwalk outside our building, outside our unit. And so we have a little table, and we'll sit out on the catwalk and play cards. Now, when, occasionally people will be coming by, and they don't have to ask us to move. As soon as we see them, we of course move. And sometimes they say, "Excuse me," to us, and we say, "No, excuse us," because we acknowledge it's not really right to be doing it, but really people have not minded. In fact, people have come over and brought us drinks and brought us cupcakes and things like that. So also our place has a very nice pool. It's a nice pool, and it's easy to get to. It's not one of these real big developments where it would take you a long time to get to the pool. So for us, it's really nice. Oh, and we're 4 minutes from the beach by car.
Oh,
wow.
From getting into our car to parking at the beach, it's 4 minutes. So it's very nice.
Is Dania Beach affordable, would you say?
Apparently, Dania Beach is changing a lot because they are building a lot more hotels and things. You see, we're also right near the cruise port. We're very close to the airport, and we're also very close to the cruise port.
Interesting.
So most people, when they're cruising, they like to go down at least a day before.
Yeah.
So there's no chance of missing the boat.
Sure.
So they have built apparently a couple more hotels. I would say it is affordable. Now, in Dania, other than our complex, there's 2 other there's maybe actually 3 or 4 complexes right near us, but they are all senior developments. And they also don't allow dogs. See, I could probably stand a senior development, but I don't want, even if I didn't have a dog, I wouldn't want to be someplace that didn't allow dogs. Right. Because I wouldn't want to be with people that don't want to have dogs.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
So
and
that's...
Does your place have an elevator?
It does. We're on the 2nd floor. Okay. So we don't always have to take the elevator.
Right.
And also with COVID, you didn't want to be touching the buttons and things like that. Right. So I think about the 4th floor is probably the highest I'd ever want to be in a building, just for that reason. I don't want to be a slave to an elevator.
Tell us about the healthcare in the area.
Well, thankfully, we have not had to look into the healthcare much at all, really.
But are you near a hospital? If you needed anything?
I did look into it because I was concerned last year that I thought I was having a problem. Thankfully, I wasn't, but I did look into where I could go and what I could do. There's a couple of urgent care places that I think would have taken my insurance. And sure, there are plenty of hospitals. I don't think healthcare would be much of an issue. We did unfortunately have to find out about veterinary services there.
Okay.
Our poor dog was in the hospital for like 2 weeks down there.
Oh my goodness.
But thankfully he came back home with us and that's what's good.
Okay. So what forms of entertainment are unique or widely available, just near you?
Okay. I also want to mention one reason we really like Dania as opposed to Fort Lauderdale. At first we were looking in Fort Lauderdale, but Fort Lauderdale is really crowded, very hard to park. We like this beach because also it has a bathroom that's easy to get to. But anyway, there's a very nice place. Actually, it is in Fort Lauderdale called Parker Playhouse that has a lot of concerts and things. And from our house, it's really only about a 10-minute drive.
Oh,
so
that you're really close.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and let me also just say in Hollywood, just to the south of us, there's lots of entertainment. There's an outdoor area, they call it the Circle, where they have live bands every Friday night. And I think it's free to just go there. Some nights they have the food trucks and stuff, but also in Dania, I think it's once a month, they do something called Dania After Dark. Oh. And it's like an outdoor festival kind of thing. We unfortunately never got to it yet, but we'll get there. And the other thing they do every year, and they didn't do last year, and they're not doing this year, but they hope to be doing next year, is the Dania Beach Seafood Festival.
Ooh,
nice.
Which it's a 2-day festival, and yes, it has all kinds of trucks with food and beer and stuff like that. But to us, they have a main stage where they have music all day long for 2 days.
Nice.
So it's
wow.
It's really a lot of fun. Also, our library has all kinds of classes, yoga, things like that, things I haven't even taken advantage of that I could. Huh. And further, we're right next to a casino and Highlight.
I was just going to ask, I read about that.
Yes, the Dania Highlight was famous. So I think it still has the Highlight. It's probably a smaller thing than it used to be, but it is a casino, which we haven't been in it to be a casino. We went in it once for a meeting, but we haven't been in as a casino. But right next to the casino is a really beautiful park called Frost Park. And it apparently has, recreational programs and things too. It has tennis. There's people playing basketball. There's children playing soccer. It's just a very pleasant place. If you want to go take a walk, it can certainly keep you entertained.
Does it have pickleball?
I don't know. Is pickleball like a new thing? I mean,
oh my God.
It's actually not, but it's really popular with
it's gaining popularity.
Older people in Florida. It's huge.
But is it like badminton or what is it?
No. It's basically a much smaller tennis court with a net the size of a tennis court. And instead of rackets, there are paddles, like paddleball. The ball, it looks like a wiffle ball. It's plastic.
Okay. They probably have it there. I'm going to try it.
People love it because it's a small court, so you don't have to run around much like tennis. Tennis, you get tired really quickly. But yeah, for somebody who maybe has a bad leg or whatever, they could still play it without running around a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, Gene knew about it.
It seems really cool.
But when we interviewed a couple in Naples, apparently they have these competitions.
Yeah, that's like the pickleball capital of the world.
It's like really serious. People get all psyched out and dressed up.
Yeah, they have the national championships there.
Yeah. So it's now one of the biggest.
It's big.
Yeah, it's big. Okay.
I have heard of it like a lot of different places, but not sure I've seen it played. I'll have to look.
Yeah. But, casinos are also huge. And I know look, it's sad. We see the buses in New York take all the senior citizens and their monthly checks.
Yeah, I'm pretty anti-casino, but
a lot of times I find that the casino environment it's fun. It's interesting. It's the excitement, I think, of the environment. I mean, is it a big casino in Dania Beach?
Yeah,
I don't know
think
what big is.
it's a pretty big casino. I'm not even sure if they have live dealers and things. And they do. They have a lot of shows there. Some nights they have free shows, and other nights they have bands you might have heard of back from the 70s and stuff like that. As I said,
a lot of slot machines, right?
yes. And it has some restaurants. Oh, it has a buffet, which we will try one of these nights, but we hadn't tried it yet.
Yeah.
Don't try it too soon.
The demise of the buffet. It's going to be very interesting because I love buffets.
Buffets have gone out of business.
Yeah. Sad.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
When we were there, we normally go from like January to May.
Okay.
And unfortunately, last year there were just so many issues that were keeping us there. We were there till August.
Oh.
So,
wow.
South Florida in August, wasn't so great.
It's hot, yeah.
Yeah. Also, our pool wasn't open, and the beach did finally open while we were there. The beach was closed for a long time. And I think all the public facilities at the beaches were closed also, which was very unfortunate. But it was just very sad walking by the casino and just seeing nobody in the parking lot at all. It was really very sad.
Yeah. So you guys stay up north in December? I heard you say you leave in January?
We want to be here for Christmas usually.
Family.
I have a grandniece and a grandnephew that, I like to see for Christmas if I can. But who knows? I mean, everybody's schedules were so crazy this year. Who knows whether holidays will be the casualties.
That's true. So when you come back north, does someone take care of the place, or do you need anyone to come in and turn off, I don't know, the heater or things like that?
No, we really don't. We do have somebody come in, like for the pest control. They do pest control once a month, which you need in Florida. We used to have a super, and we gave him some money, like to come in and flush the toilet and stuff like that. But generally, we find, that's one reason why we've stuck with the condo. We would like to buy a house, but we kind of figure it doesn't kind of make sense to let a house sit there until we think we want to spend more time down there, which we're not sure if that will ever be.
Yeah, because Gene and I think about snowbirding, and we wonder how the cost will be because, if we want to travel, let's say abroad for several months a year, how do we kind of keep all these places up, So that's an issue. But
yeah, okay. I think what you would do if you had a house, you would probably, hire some kind of service that would check it out for you every so often. Probably worth it.
Yeah. But I'm saying if you have like all these places, you've got to manage everything on a spreadsheet, who's going up to that house, who's going down to that house. And then,
and the worst part is I'm looking for this blouse. Why can't I find this blouse? And then you go to the other place and you say, there it is. That's why I couldn't find it.
Yeah. You have to furnish all the places, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But one thing that I have thought about that you could do is if you rent the place out, you can hire one of these rental companies that will find you the tenants and will also find you the cleaners and things like that.
Right.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So this way, instead of hiring your own security guard or something, you can get some income from it that way.
Yeah. That's
However,
a good idea.
We, I had mentioned to you that we also have a very small place in Cape Cod that we rent out. And last night was our first guest. And sure enough, at 10:30 p.m., I get a text from them that the smoke alarm is going off.
Oh my goodness.
And what do? It's 10:30. There's nobody around.
Right. Yeah.
I actually turned to Facebook to say, is there anybody that can go help my tenants down there?
Oh.
And believe it or not, 40 people, strangers, responded to my Facebook request there. Pretty amazing.
And did somebody show up?
No, I don't think anybody showed up, but apparently they changed the batteries and apparently at some point it stopped. So.
Oh, it was battery operated. Oh, okay.
It is. It's also hardwired. It's a long story. I don't even know.
Oh, it's also hardwired. Okay.
I will have to deal with it at another time.
Sure. Okay.
So you said you have a place on Cape Cod and you also have two places in Fire Island, right?
Yeah, it's one place. It's 2 units that we combined next to each other in Fire Island.
Okay. How do you manage all those places?
Well, we don't. The answer is we don't. Let me also say I happen to be the president of the condo in Fire Island.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. And that's really a pain, especially this week, because this is the week we're supposed to be opening there.
Oh.
And I'm trying to coordinate getting the sprinkler guy out there, the alarm guy out there.
Oh my goodness.
It's really a pain. After we're open, it won't be so bad. But we also really don't have a manager there either, so it's a pain.
It seems you'd have to be a very calm person, which you come across as, because you have all these things going on. It's like keeping up all these balls in the air. But do you think that in terms of being a snowbird, do you think you fit in the traditional definition, in the sense that you spend the most months in Staten Island and then the next most months in Florida? And then these other places, what you kind of go to, or they planned,
Yeah, no, nothing is planned. Nothing in my life is ever planned. We're very spontaneous, and everybody, whenever we make plans with anybody, we always say to them, of course, that could change. So, which is what, I should also mention, we drive to Florida. One of the reasons we're not there as often as we probably like to be is because we drive back and forth because of the dog.
Yeah.
Pugs, I don't even know if Pugs can fly at all, but he certainly couldn't fly. So that's why that's a big deal. I think if we could just fly there back and forth, we would probably go more often.
Can you tell us, Dania Beach, in terms of restaurants and kind of the culture there? Is it diverse? Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's funny. I've been thinking about that. Florida restaurants, we put it this way. We live in New York. If we want to go to good restaurants, we're not going to go to good restaurants in Florida, right?
I'm not saying anything.
We have a pizza place near us that makes good pizza and good Italian food. We don't do Chinese very often, so I don't even know if there's any Chinese good places. We found a sushi place in Hollywood that we liked. Oh, there's plenty of Cuban sandwiches, which we like, and Cuban
Yummy.
food. And I should also say one thing we love about South Florida is the Latin influence. And it isn't, it's mostly Cuban, but it's not just Cuban. There's plenty of Colombians, people from the Dominican Republic, people from Venezuela. So it's all kinds of different music, different kind of food. And I don't think we knew that before we were down there as much. And we do like that a lot. So yeah, you do see restaurants of all the different Latin persuasions. We never go to American restaurants, I don't think, really. I cook, not that much, but I'm Italian. I like good food. We really were never people that went out that much. So, we do like late night diners, and there is one very good one in Hollywood called Jack's Diner, which was closed for a long time, and I believe it's open again, and we're very, very happy to see that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I love diners.
What about Indian food? Can you get that down there?
Let me think. Indian food? Can't say I saw any Indian. There's got to be in Hollywood. There's got to be, but I don't think in Dania I noticed any Indian places.
All right. Here's my big question, though. In Staten Island, we know there's a Trader Joe's. Whenever Gil and I go to Staten Island, she finds some excuse to get over to Trader Joe's. I'm sure you go there, right?
Truthfully, I'm going to tell you, I've been to Trader Joe's once. So
Right.
is your question, is there a Trader Joe's in South Florida?
We're not asking the person that normally shops.
That's right.
So it's
Okay.
not fair.
Okay. Not fair.
Oh, wait, but I'll tell you an amazing thing about Trader Joe's. I drink soy milk. Do you know they don't stock soy milk in Trader Joe's? They have
right?
the shelf. They have the shelf stable one. They don't have fresh soy milk, or at least in ours. They do not have. I couldn't find it. I got a manager, and he said, "No, we don't carry it."
Oh, I could have sworn I've gotten soy
Hemp
milk
milk?
from them.
Cashew milk, all kinds of other
Almond
milk.
Oat milk. I'm sure they have oat milk. Yeah.
They did not have soy milk, which surprised me.
That disappoints me. I'm going to have to check that out, because I could have sworn that I bought it.
I also just want to mention a thing that we do a lot, and that was very disappointing we couldn't do last year, is in Fort Lauderdale, there's actually the town is Wilton Manors, and there's a place called Pavarello. It's like an AIDS support group. They have, food pantry and things for people with AIDS and stuff, but it also has a huge thrift store. And we love donating to it, and we love taking from it and stuff. And on Thursdays, senior citizens get 30% off.
Anybody over 50.
Right. So that's one of our favorite hobbies, going there on Thursday. But as I said, we couldn't do it this year. There's so many thrift stores in Florida.
Really?
Yeah, and just tell you a funny story because Marianne loves to go to auctions. She went to a regular auction. She bought these beautiful Chinese lamps, mid-century Chinese lamps.
Wow.
And they were beautiful, but I said to her, we have no place for them at all. I mean, we don't.
Yeah.
And so we ended up donating them to one of the thrift stores in Wilton Manors. And we were there when the first guy that came in and saw them bought them. Just
Of course.
like right after we donated them. So we were very glad to see that. Yeah, I should also just tell you the funny story about how we got all our furniture.
Yes.
Yes.
In Dania. Again, Marianne was on the computer. The only thing that we had wanted to make sure we had in the apartment before we got there was a bed because we knew we were going to get there late at night and we wanted to be able to sleep and stuff. But while she's in the process of looking for a bed frame, she sees this estate sale from this person who's selling, this beautiful Danish modern furniture. And we ended up buying all that and arranging with somebody to deliver it all. And so when we were there, the stuff had already been delivered and stuff. And we, again, all stuff that we got sight unseen also.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. I love Danish furniture. It's so clean.
Oh, you didn't actually go to the sale?
To that estate sale, no, she just saw that all online.
Wow.
Yeah. And she picked out the pieces from it. And the woman who was doing the estate sale, she was apparently one of these people that gets hired by the estate to just empty out the apartment.
Sure, yeah.
So she gave us all kinds of other stuff that we didn't even buy, all these pots and pans, a set of dishes, vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, because she's just gonna donate it anyway. Yeah.
She just said, I'm just getting it out of the apartment, so you're getting it. Oh, I should also say somebody gave us a Target for Christmas. Everybody gave us Target gift certificates. So that was one of our first trips when we went down there to buy a television because I didn't have a television. In fact, our workout room, our gym in the apartment building had a television. And so that was getting me to the gym because I could watch television, including Jeopardy from there. So we went to Target and we just bought a ton of stuff.
What would you say Dania Beach has that maybe no other place you've been has? Is there anything special about Dania Beach? Besides the beach? It's a real kind of old Florida town, like there are a lot of people. Oh, wow.
We met a lot of people who were from there originally, who grew up there and stuff.
Wow.
Also, we have a beautiful pier. In fact, for the inauguration, when you heard Bon Jovi, did you watch the inauguration? There was a scene where he sang "Here Comes the Sun," and he sang it on a pier as the sun was coming up.
Oh, wow.
And they said he was in Miami, but he was not in Miami. That was the Dania Beach Pier.
Oh, they lied.
Oh.
I said to Marianne, I said, that really looks like Dania Beach. And then it came out on the social media the next day that it indeed was our pier.
Oh.
Wow, that's cool.
Bon Jovi's kids attended the school that's down the block from us.
Behind us, yeah.
Behind us.
In Brooklyn?
Yes, yes.
Poly Prep.
Oh, Poly Prep?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I remember you live right near Poly Prep. Well, I can do that one better. Marianne's cousin went to school with Bon Jovi before he was big.
Is that right?
In New Jersey.
High school? Wow.
And she told us, she said, oh, there's this guy in my class. She said, well, his name is John Bon Jovi, but the name of the band is Bon Jovi.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he had nice hair.
Oh,
He still has nice hair.
The name is actually Bon Jovi or something.
Right. Right. It's not spelled that way. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I'm glad we wrapped that into the Retire There podcast. Okay.
So let me just ask Marianne if there's anything she wants to add about Dania Beach.
Small town, you don't have all these high-rise places, big multi-story buildings on the ocean. In fact, Dania Beach doesn't have any places directly on the ocean. There's a wildlife preserve there.
Oh.
So you can do a lot of, kayaking and canoeing, and you can go through the trails that they've created with nice boardwalks and see all the wildlife. And
oh, nice.
That is true. There isn't any place you can buy that has a view of the water, because there isn't anything built right on the water.
Oh, that's good.
Or on the intercoastal.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's not on the intercoastal or anything. But yeah, I should have mentioned that we do have 2 different wildlife parks. And apparently there's monkeys
Oh,
We have not seen the monkeys, but apparently it's tradition. They're famous for having these Dania Beach monkeys.
Wild monkeys?
Apparently.
interesting.
Oh, wow.
That's really cool.
So in the winter, how's so obviously people like it there in the winter, but how cool does it get? Is it nice at night?
I can recall it being a little chilly at night.
Mhm.
Once or twice, you take a jacket with you. That's the other thing. I mean, the whole Florida vibe is outdoor dining.
Right.
So the kind of stuff that, you in New York, you see in Manhattan mostly.
Mhm.
So if you've got to go out, especially in the area of Wilton Manors, which is kind of just west of the downtown Fort Lauderdale area,
Mhm.
there's a whole strip with restaurants, and most of them are sort of open air. And, if that's the kind of thing that you enjoy, I mean, it's great in Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it because most of the restaurants, they're open air, and a lot of them bring people in with the live music. There are a lot of musicians down there. So all kinds of bands, cover bands, and
Mhm.
you can really have a really good time just hanging out at a place where you can enjoy a meal and get a great musical show. And the musicians are happy to get money in a tip bucket.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're paid by the restaurants and bars
Don't
to
be
bring
sure.
them in, but
Yeah, don't be sure.
there's no shortage of entertainment in that respect.
Yeah, I should add that sadly the Dania Beach Bar and Grill is no longer.
Ah.
Yeah, believe me, you would have loved it. We enjoyed it all the time there. We were going one night and it was a reggae band, and we said, okay, reggae, we're not that into it. And we ended up staying and it was fabulous. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a long story.
Yeah,
Everybody laments that it's gone, but maybe it'll come back someday in
Mhm,
some different form.
I mean,
Yeah.
people used to go there because it was, again, the outdoor dining, and it's right on the beach.
Nice.
And people would go there, and that's our first introduction to Dania was
Yeah.
music
Right.
at that establishment. And, you would go there, and what you would basically see is it's mostly early retirees
Right.
who've gone down there, and the music that's being played by most of the bands
Pretty much
is,
geezer stuff.
geezer rock. So it looks like an aging Woodstock crew. Everybody dancing on the outdoor deck and eating and drinking and having a great time. But
I would say we fit right in.
I think, though, that the building apparently needed work, and it was owned by the town of Dania, and they decided they have to renovate the building and bring it up to code so that it's not affected by nor'easters or southeasters, whatever they are down there. And COVID has kept it closed this whole past year, so we'll see what happens. They say something will come back, but we just don't know what it will be.
Yeah.
We're optimistic, though.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like something will definitely come there. I mean, that's a great location. So.
Yeah.
And there are great restaurants all in the area up and down the Intracoastal. I mean, you could get very easily into Fort Lauderdale in the Las Olas area, where you have a lot of the areas of the Intracoastal, the rivers that come in towards the ocean, and there are all kinds of establishments on the water there. Or same thing, it's we're a 10-minute drive from Hollywood, right. and they have brick paver walkway that they call the Broad Walk in Hollywood.
Oh.
That's a big draw for Dania as well, because people come and stay in Dania and can just drive to Hollywood, and there's a Margaritaville there and a lot of big clubs and establishments there and restaurants, and people really go there to be part of that scene.
See, Dania Beach is a small beach. Hollywood Beach is a beautiful big beach. Hollywood Beach is like a renowned beach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the same water, but it's a wider beach, and it's very, very long. And as I said, they have this thing, it's called the Broad Walk, not a boardwalk, Broad Walk.
Mm-hmm.
And along the Broad Walk, there are restaurants and things, and it's very, very nice to walk on and stuff like that. It's a very, very pleasant place.
Is that cobblestones? What do you walk on?
No, it's bricks.
Like interlocking pavers. They have a lot of bicycles that go up and down. They have these things that are like tricycles on the ground that you sit in and pedal.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of and little jitney trolleys that you can take that go up and down and bring you to the various clubs and restaurants. There are certainly residences that are along the Hollywood Boardwalk as well. So it's a go-to nightlife spot, you know, and all the restaurants that have outdoor dining along the Intracoastal, where you have a fabulous boat parade. You know, those are fun places for people to go to. And we're right next door, 10-minute ride away, and you have a more quiet area of Dania Beach. But again, the same sand, same water. You know, you can't beat looking at this turquoise clear water. You know, you can see your feet on the bottom.
Oh, wow.
It is. It's really the beaches are. You know, we've been all to the Caribbean. We love the Caribbean, but I will say the Florida beaches are beautiful.
Yeah,
They're really very, very nice. And we love watching the wildlife. We love seeing the pelicans and things.
Oh yeah,
you know,
nice.
You see pelicans a lot.
You get really hot weather in February. You know, it can be really in the 80s.
Oh my goodness.
And it's humid and the water is warm. It's got to be the high 70s.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
Yeah.
If you used to go into the beaches in Long Island and New Jersey,
or the Jersey Shore, it's a big difference.
In the summer, believe me, it's much warmer.
How does the pool water in the?
Well, most of the pools are heated.
Our pool is not heated, and I would say our pool was generally cold. I would say not freezing, but cold. But a lot of the places, especially the senior places, have heated pools, which I kind of don't understand too well.
Yeah.
But we also love a hot tub. Now, our place ostensibly has a hot tub, except it's been under repair for I don't know how many years. So we may live to see it come back, or we may not. We paid an assessment for it about 5 years ago, so maybe we'll see it come back. Maybe
they're working on it now, so we're optimistic.
I mean, people also have to think about if you're going to buy into a condo, there's always drama.
What
Some are managed better than others? Yeah.
What about the beach? Do you have to pay to park at the beach?
Yes. At any of the beaches, I would say I don't think there's any place you don't have to pay to park. Now, if you're a resident, you can get a parking pass. But for us, we said it wouldn't pay. So it's generally $2 an hour, and you can use these apps. So if you're sitting on the beach and your time is running out, you can just hit the app and you can stay for another 2 hours or whatever.
What's how long can you stay all day if you pay?
Yeah, I think so.
You just keep.
You just keep hitting it or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, Hollywood is much bigger, and they have a lot of buildings that are tiered parking.
Right, they have big parking garages there.
Like the system in Manhattan, where you have to get that ticket and put it in your windshield.
Yeah,
and it's kind of a pain. You have to park your car, walk to the dispenser.
But that's not all that they have. So I mean, we've often thought about, should we get someplace you can walk to the beach from? But I said to her, for $2 an hour, it's worth it. We stay in a cheap place and we just pay the parking.
Right.
It doesn't pay to pay $800,000 to be closer to the beach.
No.
Right.
Right.
I mean, that's what we like about Dania. Also, the fact that right near the place where we can sit in the sand on our chairs, go in the water, you come out, the restrooms are there, they have showers, and you can rinse yourself off before you go out maybe and go to one of the bars or restaurants or something. It's got everything. Whereas in Fort Lauderdale, it's a very long beach, right? And that whole area in Las Olas, there aren't any, public facilities, bathhouses or restrooms. You have to kind of leave the beach and cross the A1A highway to go into the bars and restaurants. It's kind of.
What I also love about Florida is I'll get off the beach. I'll just put on a pair of shorts over my bathing suit and my thongs, and I feel perfectly comfortable going into the supermarket or even going into a casual restaurant that way,
Oh, wow.
So, you know what else I like about Dania? I'm just mentioning, when I go into the Walgreens, we have a Walgreens fairly close to us. And I have to go every couple of weeks to get his insulin, my dog's insulin and stuff. And I just like when I come in, the woman always says, "Oh, hello, Miss Palladino." It's
nice.
It's a small enough place that they remember you. So I like that.
Yeah, I love being a regular. Yeah.
Another thing about Florida is they have hurricanes.
Mm-hmm.
We were there when they were predicting a hurricane, and we're watching it on television, and
Oh my goodness.
I swear to God, we were right where they said it was going to hit. We're texting everybody saying, "Oh my God, we are right where they say it's going to be." But it ended up not being anything.
You didn't even think to evacuate?
I think by the time we knew about it, it was really too late. There's another place we go to called Odds Bodkins. I think it's actually in Fort Lauderdale. It's a huge thrift place. It's like 10 rooms of really junk. I mean, like some junk.
There's plenty of treasure.
Plenty of stuff there, but outside they also had nice gardens and things. So I went out in the garden doing crossword puzzles while she could stay to her heart's content looking at all this junk. And they also had food.
No, there's plenty of ability to furnish your house with really great stuff. I mean, you'll never buy retail again because so many people, they buy and they furnish their home, and then they, in 10 years they're selling.
10. There are people who
furniture that's barely used.
Exactly. Yeah. There's people who redecorate every 2 years
to establishment like Pavarello, which works with the homeless and the hungry, and the same thing with Out of the Closet works with people with HIV or other illnesses, and they provide food and other social services, and they get so many people buy a house and they immediately have to redecorate, so everybody gets rid of everything.
We've gotten beautiful stuff.
Very well. You get beautiful furniture.
We've gotten leather chairs. We've gotten very nice things. And I just want to say about Dania Beach, it really is a community. And that is what we like. We like that it's a community because, now we're looking at maybe getting a different place and all that kind of stuff. But we really would love to stay in Dania Beach if we can, because we just feel like it's a small town and it's a nice place and people know you, and it's not a lot of pressure. It's not hard to park, as I say. And I'm not the best driver in the world, and I'm a very bad parker. So I like that there's room for me to park.
That's because you're from the fifth borough.
I mean, the drive is we dread the drive, which delays us going half the time because we do it over the course of 3 days. If I get my act together, one of these days, I'm going to send a letter to our new transportation secretary, Buttigieg, because I would really like to see them make it so that Amtrak trains that go from New York to Florida and other destinations incorporate animal cars so that people can bring their animals. You have a bar car, you have a smoking car, you have a food car. Why can't they have a car that's like a kennel?
That's a good idea.
Lets people bring their animals. And this would avoid all the nonsense that goes on in the airports now, where people are bringing, their emotional support
on the plane,
planes, and exposing all the other passengers to whatever sensitivities and allergies they may have. Why not have a train car or two that allows people to bring their pets, and the other passengers don't have to be exposed to it?
Yeah, because I think a lot of people don't even know that you can't bring animals on long-range trains. We would love to not have to drive.
Yeah.
There's the auto train and things like that, which I would consider doing, but you can't take animals on them. You can't take animals on any trains that I think are more than like 5 hours long, 5 or 6 hours long.
And they have to be very small. And actually, our dog is about 25 pounds. But and he's very frail now because he's 14 years old. But it's very hard for most people to bring their animals, and putting them on an airplane is just not safe. Putting them in the baggage area.
We wouldn't do that.
Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen. Yeah.
So that's why you have all these people trying to put their dogs to take a seat on the plane. So why not make it easier for the world? I know there are plenty of people who would travel more if they could bring their animals with them. And I think the train is the way to go. So there's a way to do it. That's what I'd like to see happen.
We're with you. We are with you. We
Absolutely.
will advocate with you. Okay, guys, listen, this has been really great. I didn't know about Dania Beach. And it sounds so quaint.
Yeah.
It sounds like a place called home.
And it sounds like it's all about the people. The people sound so friendly and nice.
Yeah. And I would love to walk into Walgreens and have someone say, "Hello, Miss Chan."
I was very surprised.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Rosemary.
Yeah, thank
and
you so much.
Marianne.
You're very welcome. We enjoyed it.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you know someone who's relocated for retirement and wishes to share their story with us, please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Our email address is gg@retirethere.com. Our website is retirethere.com, and you may follow us on Twitter @retirethere_. Now, if you've liked our show, please subscribe and rate it in Apple Podcasts. In the meantime, be well.